and gentlemen, welcome back to the People's Choice Podcast. And I'm here with a very special guest. I'm here with an amazing, talented band that I'm so honored to have on the show. I'm here with Against the Sun. I got two members here with me. And as we got Brad and Connor over here, I'm real excited. We're going to talk about their new single, talk about their EP, and for all my peeps to get to know them more than just as musicians, get to know them on a personal level well. So please welcome to the People's Choice Podcast. Give the clap.
Need to distract while they make the cuts. Flare up the tensions over this and that. So self-serving while the planet is burning, and we can't agree on the facts. Wheeling their web lies. No concern for human life. They twisted your good intentions. The West aren't even paying attention. You could see the enemy standing right where you should be, stealing all your energy. If you call me the enemy just because we disagree, we've already lost.
Woo! Honored. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem. I still gotta get used to that, putting the mic down and starting to clap. Normally, I always understand, just start clapping. But this is awesome. You guys coming all the way from Orange County, California. That is so cool. What was it like growing up there and some of your favorite places out there?
Brad. Yeah, you go first, Brad.
Me? Okay. So, I mean, for me, I grew up in a tiny little beach town in South Orange County called San Clemente. I, however, don't swim, so I don't.
Me either.
Yeah, I can't swim, so I don't surf or do volleyball or anything like that. I mean, I like the beach, I like the ocean and stuff like that, but I wasn't. It wasn't as like I didn't vibe with it as much. But I've come to still like Orange County growing up a little bit more because it's less hectic than LA, but it's still very close to LA. So there's still a lot of things to do. The weather's unbeatable. I am a thin, frail little man that can't handle 60-degree weather, let alone anything lower than that. So the warmer, the better for me.
He is thin and frail. This is very true.
What about you, Connor?
So I didn't grow up in Orange County. Well, I guess I was born in Glendale, so that's kind of more LA-ish area. Awesome. But I moved to Orange County around 5th grade. So yeah, I've been playing drums for like 17 years at this point, and yeah, I'm trying to. There's some cool spots out here in Orange County. I guess like FTG Warehouse is cool. Awesome. That's a great spot. A lot of local bands play there. It's all ages, which is great because California fucking sucks at having all ages venues. So, they're a dime a dozen out here.
Yeah, I like Laguna Beach. That's probably my favorite Orange County spot. It's just like the gelato there is just amazing.
Oh,
it's
hard as fuck. Gelato.
Yeah,
awesome.
They have this sick ass gelato place, and also like I think it's just the best beach, the most beautiful beach in Orange County. It's super artsy, hippie vibe. They have this thing called the Pageant of the Masters there, where you get a bunch of like actors that in costume and rad set designs that like recreate these famous paintings throughout history. So it's like a crew of like just a ton. It's really cool. There's a lot of like pottery and art, and it's a really cool.
I have a fun story from Laguna Beach. I went on an anniversary date there, and the person I was with, we went in the water for a second, and then we looked back and we saw these homeless people like looking through our stuff, and this was the part that offended me. One of the guys picked up my shirt, smelled it, or just like inspected it and looked visibly repulsed, and then put it back down. So I was like, damn, I must smell terrible for him to be like, yo, I don't even want this shirt. Like, you can have this. I'm not gonna take anything from you.
Oh man, see, this is why I love interviewing bands because like I know you guys been through like trenches and been together a lot of practice and even have funny stories. That's actually one of my questions I always ask like bands want to get them on like some funny stories, but that's a good one
Oh,
right there. we'll come back to that if you guys got any funnier ones later on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, not awesome. I mean, embarrassing at the moment, but awesome. It's like to look back at it and talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, damn, I must smell like shit. Fuck, dude.
It's all good, man.
He's the one that always leaves like uneaten food out in the practice space that stinks up the whole
That's
place.
not true. What do you mean? I throw everything away. It's my space too. Fuck you.
You had uneaten pad thai out for how long? Like during the whole practice this week?
No.
Yes.
No, that's not true.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I brought it. No. Let me talk. I brought it upstairs.
Let's hear the story.
I literally got it the same day. I literally got that pad thai the same day, and I ate it all. I finished it. It's thrown away.
There's been burger bags that have sat in that practice space for weeks.
Okay,
with like
but
barbecue sauce hanging out, no lid.
No.
Yes.
No. That's not true. That's not true.
Anyway, we can move on.
We can't.
Connor's a stinky boy. That's all that you need to know.
You're slandering my good name right now. there's burger bags, but they're just bags.
No.
Fuck you.
Go ahead.
That was funny. I never had it first right there. You never know. That's why I call my audience my peeps. I tell my peeps. That's why you got to tune in and keep watching some of these clips and reels and full episodes because you never know. So let's talk about the band. Against the Sun. I love that name. So who came up with the name and why?
That was actually our very first roadie that came up with the name. It was kind of this kind of sounds cool, and then I kind of had to build meaning off of it afterward. But if you look at the artwork for our very first EP that came out about 1 million years ago, it's drawn in a way where there's like this giant black sun, and everything else in the artwork is very gray except for people's shadows that are like super bright and colorful. Mm-hmm. And the thinking that goes along with the name is that you see people's true colors in the sides of themselves they don't normally want to show. Which like you see who people really are like in their shadows, and you only see that when they're up against the sun. So that's sort of the tie-in anyway.
That is deep. I like that. A lot.
It's Tumblr deep.
Yeah.
That belongs in like I'm 14 and this is very deep.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it does.
Yeah, you guys started as like teenagers. So was you guys always just friends, like just growing up and thought like, man, this would be cool to start a band, or did it kind of just happen like organically one day?
So actually,
Connor, you can tell it.
Yeah. So actually, this current lineup, we've only been so Against the Sun has been a band since like what 2014, right, Brad?
It was like my high school project for about 2014 through high school and college, and then started taking it very seriously, like I guess a year before the pandemic hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this current lineup, I joined the band around like 2.5 years ago,
mm-hmm.
and then our bass player joined a little bit before me.
Mm-hmm.
So this current lineup has only been a thing for like 3 years, I guess.
2 years. 2 years.
2 years. 2 years. Okay.
2 years. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, especially from all the momentum you guys are building and currently building that you guys haven't been at it on a serious level how you guys taking just only 2 years. That's pretty amazing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. So who are some of your influences and idols like in the music industry that you just like love and just idol?
Go ahead, Connor.
Connor, I don't know. I can't see your face. I don't know what happened.
Sorry. I was signing into my work thing because I have to leave in like 15 minutes for work. But yeah, sorry, I was on a thing. So my influences, I first got into drumming through Avenged Sevenfold. I heard that first. I heard Beast in the Harlot when I was like 5 years old, and I was like, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. So that whole scene is like my influence. The Rev was my very first drumming influence. Currently, though, I listen to a lot of like I guess like prog and gent. So I listen to like Periphery, Ginger, God, who else? I guess Animals as leaders, but I wouldn't call them gent. I would say they're more like instrumental progressive. But anyways, yeah. So I watch a lot of like Matt Halpern, Matt Gartzka. I also love watching a lot of gospel drummers too, like Eric Moore, Tony Royster Jr., just guys like that, because they're just like gospel musicians, or just like, well, mostly gospel musicians, but they're all just so good and tight. Like they're phenomenal musicians, and like I'm not religious by any means, but even when I'm like watching these guys play, I'm like, all right, you know what? I feel the Holy Spirit in me, like, all right.
I am very so. I had how Connor watched the Rev when he was young and was like, "That's what I want to do." That is me when I saw the music video for "Animal I Have Become" by 3 Days Grace.
It's classic.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, like that's what I want to be forever. So Adam Gontier from 3 Days Grace is my favorite vocalist of all time. I love bands like 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin, Chevelle, Seether, Slipknot.
These are all my favorites. What's going on?
Oh, okay, sick. Yeah, right on.
It's like,
yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Evanescence, like all those bands. Like I absolutely, I love like the heaviness, but also the melody, and a lot of like very personal, raw, like songwriting. I think there's some of those bands are like just excellent songwriters. That's like number one key for me. But I also have like a deep love of pop punk. So if you listen to like really early Against the Sun stuff back when I was like in high school or college, a lot of that stuff is very pop punk. So I love bands like New Found Glory, Blink-182, Green Day. I mean, all those kind of stuff. And then I also have like a huge, deep love for emo music as well. So you listen to stuff like The Wonder Years or Real Friends or Have Mercy or Sunny Day Real Estate, like those bands. So it's kind of like all those three mixed in with like Connor's gent and then like Alex and Brad's like metalcore. It just, you kind of mix all that in and it gets something like Against the Sun. So yeah.
And I love it, and that's why I clicked with you guys real soon. As soon as I heard your EP and then hearing your new singles, I was just like, wow, like now it makes a lot of sense. Like, wow, I just felt like, man, like this is great. Like those are like all my favorites. That's really cool. And speaking of your EP, the Truth Wake, like that was awesome, and find out that you had over 130,000 streams. Like, let me give you a clap for that. That's amazing. Like,
thanks, man. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fucking hard work, but we got
there. Let's talk about that. Like when that EP, and then finding out like how successful that it is currently, like right now, and still.
Yeah, I mean, none of the songs on that EP were ever intended to be on an EP. They were all pretty much singles, but we realized that the music industry, the way it's structured right now, really is hungry for singles. But at the same time, if you're just releasing singles forever and it's not culminating in anything, the people who are really engaged in what you're doing are not going to feel as deep of a connection with the music that you're putting out. And also, in the rock and metal world, we still have this deeply personal attachment to like full releases, whether they be EPs or album. It's just the way that this genre has like understood how to enjoy music for decades on end. And things in like the rap or pop world or hyperpop or EDM, whatever, have been way more willing to like abandon that model. But for rock, metal, punk, all this stuff, like a lot of fans are still really wanting that. So we figured we need a CD release. We'd need an EP release. Also, because we go out and play shows where places like up in the high desert and because of the California desert, but like you go up there and you play a show to these people and you hang out with them afterward and you're like, oh yeah, check us out on Instagram or Spotify. They're like, I don't have Instagram or Spotify. Where's your CD? It's just like 15 years in the past, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So we realized that we needed like some kind of physical product to give to these people, like when we go out there. Right. So, very happy that we were able to get it in a cohesive whole, I guess. But yeah, all of those streams came from like marketing each individual song on its own, where like each song stands out as a single on its own and then like bringing it together at the end. So yeah, it was a lot of hard work, but a lot of the fans that we have now were fans that we have built up in the last 2 years as we were releasing each of those songs as singles. So it's just been like it's been a daily grind, you know. Every day you do something that like builds this castle that you're building, and then eventually you can kind of take a step back and be like, cool, this is what it is right now. Here's where I want to keep building, and you just keep going, you know.
And if you want to attribute that EP success to one person, I would definitely say it's Brad, because he's always like playlisting and doing all the shit that we don't want to do. So like I just remember like Brad just constantly on his laptop, just like submitting emails, doing everything that we should be helping him with, but we don't because so yeah, Brad is definitely the mother hen / workhorse of the group.
Definitely. And a shout out to you, Brad, for that, because yeah, I mean, it is just awesome. And you know, it's crazy. Like I was listening to your album, your EP, and I was like, damn, like why does this feel like something like I should hear on like a soundtrack or like like an old Tony Hawk type game? Like I mean, I was bro.
Yes.
Like I was when
Yes.
when I was listening when I was listening to The Enemy, that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, man, like this sounds like childhood almost. Like this is awesome. This is a banger right here. Like I love it. And
Yes.
And we could speak on that right now. Actually, I'm going out of order of my questions because something that did catch my eye too. My research on you guys is that you guys placed 4th out of 250 like bands, you know, and the Los Angeles Battle of the Bands. Like that's pretty amazing, you know. And I wanted to ask you guys about that and you know that whole experience and everything.
I think you're talking about Anime LA, right? That was
Anime LA, yeah.
Anime LA. Okay, yeah. So I mean, so we placed, I guess you could say, 2nd through 4th. It was like there was one band that won, and then all the other bands were like, "Thanks for being here." But yeah, we were able to do that, and it was really fun. Like that was one of the bigger shows that we've done. It was the first time we ever played an anime convention. We've done one other one afterward. It was a really cool experience. It was a huge ass stage. It was a huge ass stage. And yeah, I mean, it was really, I don't know, it was a really like cool experience. You know, it was kind of weird because COVID was still very much a thing. Mm-hmm. So they told us that like, you know, like we wanted to get, you know, we usually have mosh pits at our shows and stuff like that. So like, I wanted to get people up by the stage, moving around, all whatever. But they told us like, hey, everyone has to like stay in their seats and all this. So I was just kind of like, get up and headbang in your seats. And you were so far away from the audience that like I had no idea if anyone was listening to me. I couldn't really see anyone's faces or anything like that. So I was like, hopefully they're digging it, whatever. And then my partner was in the audience filming on her phone. And I was seeing the video clips afterward, and people were actually like going nuts. Like up in their seats, it's like in the audience, and I was like, "Oh, okay, so it actually worked. That's cool." Like I had no clue during the performance.
I will say though, we would have won, but the band that actually won cheated, and the judges didn't do anything about it.
Oh, so, man. How they cheat? What happened?
Well, like the rule was
they
weren't allowed. Like, no, well, they did.
Yeah, I was say if they see this, they're gonna be like, "You call me a cheater?"
Yeah, they didn't cheat.
They did, because technically the judges said you weren't allowed to like interact with the crowd, like you weren't allowed to like go out in the crowd and like touch them, I guess. And they did that. And that's like the only reason, because the judges were like, "Oh man, your stage presence is great." And I was like, "Well, you told us not to. What the hell?"
Well, I think the thing is that I think we kind of hyped the crowd up a lot, and then by the time they got on stage, they also put on a great performance. I think they were very deserving of the win, but they like people were already kind of hyped up, and I think they just kind of like, I think they kind of forgot about the sitting in their seats rule, which is fine. That rule really shouldn't have been in place to begin with. You know, like if people wanted to come up to the stage, like just let them come up to the stage. Everyone was masked, like it was whatever. You know, you had to like show proof of vaccination to like get in. Like it was whatever.
Facts, man. And
maybe I'm just.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe I'm just salty because my dog and my grandpa died on that day. So.
Oh man,
that's totally why, Connor.
I'm so sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, like goodness.
No,
Bro was in a maid outfit too. Bro was literally in a maid outfit drumming, and he was like, "Oh, my dog and my grandpa died." That is fucking a maid outfit. Like, can you imagine the shame and humiliation?
Do you have pictures of that? That's what I have to put that.
Well, yes, we have a lot of pictures.
I gotta ask for some of them. I'm gonna put those in the video.
There was a third whammy too, and my girlfriend at the time left me that day too. So it was just
what
like
the fuck?
we lost. My fucking dog and grandpa decided to die, which is kind of toxic of them, not gonna lie. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, "All right, see you later."
Oh,
that was cool. Goodness. It was a cool day.
That's a fucked up day.
Connor's entire mental health was all resting upon winning this silly battle of the bands thing.
It really was. It really was. Well, because I was the one who got us that gig too. So that's also why it was like really important for me. And then
like, but there is some good to take away from that though. The fact that you lost your dog, you lost your grandfather, and gotten to do a breakup, and still went out there and kicked ass and had the crowd hype. Like that's something to take away from, because not everybody can do that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. And then one more thing, I was an idiot, and when I left I was like packing my stuff for that day, and I left my bass drum pedals and my throne on the street outside of my studio in Santa Ana.
And then they got stolen.
That shit was gone. So I had to yeah, they got stolen. So then I had to borrow, thank God our friends from Temperamental were there, and their drummer let me borrow her pedals and throne, which I was very thankful for.
I was gonna say what kind of fucking day was that? What day was that actually? Because like I got to mark that on my calendar, so shit's going wrong. I know this is the right. Like goodness grief.
Well, it was like it was a really cool experience. It was around like Christmas, I think.
All right.
No, it was January. It was January.
Oh, it was January. Okay.
Yeah, January normally sucks for me anyway. Just horribly in general. But that
just cross off the whole month, dude.
And you know what's crazy?
I'm not planning anything big in January.
Facts, but it's so cool that I got to know that backstory, because here I am saying, man, that had to be a cool experience, and knowing the behind the scenes, like it's fucking crazy. So I'm like, damn.
No, it was
still cool.
It was it was fun because it was fun because I'm like the anime nerd in the band, so like that's why like I wanted to get us that show, because I'd been there before and I saw the Battle of the Bands. I was like, this would be a really cool show. So yeah, it was cool. It was cool, but like that day was like kind of fucked.
For real. But it's cool you're an anime nerd. I bet what's your favorite anime character? Like number one. I've had some on the show, like big fans. It's always hard to pick one, I know, right?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite character, but I do have a favorate show, and it's tied between Given, which is this anime about a band. It's pretty good. It's a yaoi anime, but like it still was good. And then also another one is Erased. That's a good one. Yeah, one threw me through a fucking loop, dude.
That is a good one. So I'm old school. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Alvin.
I was gonna say I'm old school, so Inuyasha will always be number one to me.
Oh,
that's always number one. Love that. What was you gonna say, Brad?
All right,
I was gonna say,
hey guys, I gotta go to work. Yeah, I gotta go to work. So
all right,
teach children.
No problem, Connor. Thank you for the time that we were able to have you on here, man. It was really awesome. And I'll put this out there, and I can't wait for you can see it, and we'll continue the interview, Brad, with the rest of the questions for the group.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Connor.
Yeah, I'll be sure to send you those maid outfit pictures.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, man.
All right, man. You have a good one.
Bye, Connor.
See ya. Bye.
I was gonna say, if I could pick one character, I would definitely pick Roy Mustang. Man, that guy That's a great character.
Great character, man. Great character. I like that. And it's crazy because I remember growing up, like anime was so big, but yet if you would ever like mention it in like public, people were going to either clown you or beat your ass or anything like that. And
now kids are walking around like it's cool.
I was saying the same thing. I was like, now you can't escape it. It's everywhere. I go to grocery stores, schools, like, and kids are just in full costume, like it's Comic-Con or something. Like it's really amazing to see the evolution of it and how it was when we were growing up to how it is now. Like it's pretty big. It's awesome. And it's funny. I joked around with a buddy of mine. So I was like, hey, remember that dude D'Angelo? He was like clowning us because we saw anime and shit. Look at him now. Because now he's on his Facebook and like Instagram. He's like going to the Comic-Cons and events and all that and talking about something like motherfucker, you was fucking saying? Like it's crazy how that works.
I never got into anime like a ton. I have like my very few ones that I'm like really into, and then for everything else, like my partner watches anime a ton. Like she loves like just new one every couple of weeks or something like that. I think the most recent one that she got me kind of into was Jujutsu Kaisen. Ooh, that one I was like, okay, that one's like actually, I was like that one's pretty good.
Oh yeah, I think I'm freezing up a little bit.
Objectively the best anime of all time. That one is just ridiculous.
I love it. Yeah. So this is my next question. Like you guys have done so much as a band and really even like the heights you guys are getting at right now, especially like fresh off the pandemic. That's pretty impressive what you guys are doing. So I want to ask, like, what is some advice that you would give to any up and coming band or bands that, are kind of just like struggling trying to figure out what to do next, like something that you've learned or was taught or something you wish you knew even sooner? Like what advice would that be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so much, honestly, but I think the first place you have to start is you have to make sure your product is good. Like what are we selling in the music industry? We're selling, fundamentally music, right? We're selling songs. Facts. So like you have to make sure that your songs are really good, and you also have to make sure that your production is really good. And that can depend on the genre, right? Like if you're doing a Midwest emo thing, you can be a lot more raw and unproduced than if you're doing like a hyper pop mixed with metal, high production value, whatever. So, but you have to make sure that your core product is like really, really good. And obviously that's hard to do because music is so subjective. You might think what you wrote is super dope. It might not be to a lot of other people, right? And part of the challenge is you just have to create a lot to get better at it, because it's the only way you're going to get better at it if you just keep creating. You have to make sure your product is really good at the starting point, because then you will find that, like, I don't know, when I started out and when our music was like okay, but our production was like dog shit, I found it to be very difficult to like get people, even close friends and family, to like get stoked on what we were doing. And that's because like it was kind of bad, right? So if your product in itself is good, is very good, it makes everything else so much easier. Getting people on board, getting people in your tribe and on your team to help promote it or get you opportunities, whatever, it just makes all that work so much easier. So you have to make sure the product is really good, and then you have to like understand how to market it successfully. You have to learn how TikTok works, learn how Instagram works, like post regularly on there, learn about Spotify playlisting, and like learn about social media ads. And like there's so much to learn there. So like take it in chunks. But ultimately, if you have an amazing song produced very well, that's marketed in the right way, like you will fucking, you know what I mean? There's the potential to just get huge in this. So
yeah, and it's definitely working out for you guys for real. And that's some great advice, because it's crazy how parallel like the music business and then even like podcasting, like it is spot on. Like production is everything, making the videos as best as you can, a lot of edits, a lot of cuts, so it's a grind, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it.
It is a grind, and that's the other thing too, is that like do not get discouraged. If I would have gotten discouraged, I would have stopped in high school, I would have stopped in college, right? But like ultimately but like I love writing music, I love performing music, and I want to like as many people as possible to like hear that music, right? So you just like keep going. And the more you go, the more you're going to learn, the better you're going to get at this, right? So it's just a constant. You just got to not be knocked down. You just got to keep going.
Definitely. Just keep on going. Just keep on going.
Yeah.
My next question is about the new single that just dropped today, which, as we're recording this, what is this, April the 8th? So
yeah.
by the time it's come out, it'll be probably a couple weeks, but still, it drops today, and it is just fire, man. Like, I really love it. The enemy, it is awesome. Can I ask you the backstory behind that song? And just where the band was like, yeah, this is happening, and how it turned out, and how is your final thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the song started out as a song written by Alex, our bass player. Now, anyone who's in a band who might be listening would probably just shit their pants that we're using a song that the bass player wrote, but it's true. And Alex had joined the band a while ago, and Alex has a very different set of influences than the rest of the band. He's more into like classic metal, like Iron Maiden and stuff like that, and he's into like Pantera, and he's also into like
Pantera.
A lot of Pantera's great, and he's into a lot of extreme metal too. So he's like a big Cannibal Corpse fan, right? So he has this very like balls to the wall, no frills, just like metal kind of ethos. And I think that comes across really well in that song. It's very to the point, it's very blunt, and it's just like, after that little like intro, it just like smacks you in the face with that, and it just hits into that thrash riff,
Man, it gets you, man. Like I said, it reminded me of like hearing like those soundtracks from the Tony Hawk days. Like it really gets you, man. I love it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's very high energy, and it keeps that energy up almost the whole song. My like contribution to it was in arrangement and figuring out, okay, what is going to make the most engaging listen. And then of course I wrote all of the vocals on top of the instrumentals as well. So, but everybody had their own little thing to give. I gave the melodies and the lyrics, and then our guitar player gave that fucking killer solo that's in there. That's one of my favorite solos he's ever done, which I say about all of his solos, but that solo is like really good. And then like, Connor helped with that breakdown, the and it kind of showcases his gent influences. So there's just a little bit in there for everyone. But I think at its core, a lot of the melodies and stuff are like right what you hear on like Radio Rock or Sirius XM or something like that, which is totally the world that I come from.
Definitely, and I love it. Like I just, it's I can all I can say just like I love it, man. It is really awesome.
Thanks,
I can't wait to see how that song's gonna blow up, because you guys killed it. Like, oh man, love it. I was listening to it like I had it on repeat like literally 4 times in a row, and I was like, yeah, they really, like you guys really got something here. Like this is really good. So just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up. Yeah, no problem whatsoever. So yeah, I know you guys are working on a new EP. Last we talked through via email, and I want to ask you: have you guys came up with a name with that yet, or even like a due date, or not due date, but
release date.
Release date. And what can the world and my peeps expect from that EP you guys are working on currently?
Yeah. So how I kind of described earlier, in that over the past couple of years, we released a bunch of singles that were never intended to be put together into a release or anything like that. We were just kind of haphazardly throwing them out there with somewhat regularity, but not really knowing what the direction was. So that's why, for example, in 2021, you'd go from like, we put out like a Midwest emo song in March to like a metalcore song in May, which is cool. I mean, I like all those genres, but to people who are getting into our music, they're like, okay, I got into you from like an emo song. Now you're putting out metalcore. Okay, now you're going back to pop punk. Like, what the fuck is your band? So like,
I can see the confusion on that. Yeah,
I get it. We have a really diverse set of influence.
I look at it just like, wow, like look how talented they are. They're doing all different types, But yeah, I can see where a newer like person like, okay, so what are you?
Yeah. So like this year, we knew, at the end of last year when we put out Truth's Wake, we were already in the writing room, and we were like, we know exactly what we want to do. We're going to do another 6-track EP, and we're going to be a little bit more focused this time around. So it was just in the appetite of the band to go heavier. So we're going to push more into like the modern metalcore, modern rock kind of sound. So there are more influences from the rest of the band. This is the most collaborative songwriting we've ever done. Most songs previous to this had started as either mine or had started as Brad or guitar players, and everybody kind of put their influences in later. This time around, we have songs that were written by Alex, our bass player, by Connor, our drummer, by me, by Brad. I mean, everyone is contributing from the get-go. All the songs are written. Half the songs are done, as in like the final versions of the songs are ready to go. All the instrumentals and stuff like that are recorded. So it's most of the EP is kind of already finished. I think it's going to be very good. I think each single is going to build off of one another, and it's going to crescendo to this really nice release. This is the first time that we've ever written songs that are not going to be singles. Like there's just going to be some songs that, which is feels like a death sentence now in the way that the music industry works, because everybody wants so many singles, but at the same time, there are just some of those songs that just are not suited to be singles. You know, they're not immediately catchy or short and easy to kind of digest like The Enemy. Like we have one song on the EP that's going to be like 6.5 minutes long.
Ooh,
which we like doing that stuff because we're all prog nerds as well, right?
Yeah.
But you know that most people aren't going to want to sit down unless you get prog fans. They're not going to want to sit down and listen to like a 6.5 minute song when they're just trying to get into a band, right? So it's like,
it's the body of art, though. You know, like
it is
art
for the people. But for people like you and other fans and stuff like that, for people who like are already into the band, they're going to see a 6.5 minute song and they'll be like, "Oh fuck yeah, what are these boys cooking up?" Right?
Yeah.
So. And it's okay to have those two different worlds. There are some songs that are meant to get new people in, and there are other songs that are meant to like deepen your relationship with the people who are already interested in you. And so like we understand that now. We have a theme, we have a title for the EP already. We have this like cohesive aesthetic that we're already working to. So we're just a lot more, we have our shit together more this year. So I'm just hoping that you know results in better results. So yeah.
That is awesome. And yeah, it's such a balance where it's like you have to like still stay true to like your core audience, the ones that really fuck with you hard on your music has been rock with you. But yet it's like sometimes you have to balance out like, all right, I love you guys, but let me try to do this to bring in like, you know, the casual viewer or listener and get them in. So yeah, it's a balance. I play that game too, even with podcasts. Yeah. It's definitely a balance. And you say you guys got a name already too for the EP?
We do have a name. I'm not going to drop it or anything like that.
I thought I was going to get some breaking news here in the people.
I know. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
You pay attention to the artwork of each single, you'll get what the name is. You'll kind of get what direction we're going with. And we work with this great guy named Sam, who's in France, that does all of our artwork. And we're working with the same artist the whole year. So really excited for that. And musically, we're not. You know, we're going to tread some new ground as well. It's not just going to be repeats of what we've done elsewhere, because there are some influences that I haven't listed here that are going to come out in some of the other songs as well, that is going to be very kind of out of left field, and we hope it's going to go over well, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know, we'll lot of the critiques we've had from people who aren't as into us is that like they just don't know how to understand what's going on with us. They're kind of like, well, you're kind of emo, you're kind of pop punk, you're kind of metalcore, you're kind of hard rock. But you're not any one of those things. And to me, as someone like you who has a lot of diverse influences, I'm like, great. Who gives a shit what you call it, right? Like, let's take our favorite stuff from all these other genres and like put it in and like have fun, right? But
yeah, I wish there was more fans like me, you know, or like-minded, you know,
open-minded, right?
You know, I'm like, man, you're missing out some good music, man. If you just stay to just. This is all I'm listening to is just this type of, I don't know if it's emo, if it's pop punk, or if it's just, you know, straight up thrasher, you know, like you're missing out, man. You know, like me, man, my playlist is all over the place.
Me too, dude. I'll go from literally like Conway Twitty to Slipknot. Like I don't care, man.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that's the way it should be. And do you have a time frame on when we can expect the new EP? Like something like later on in the year or
our goal is to release every single in like 6 to 8 weeks of each other. So we will be putting out 4 singles ahead of the 6-track EP. So when the EP drops, 4 of them will have already been released. 2 of them will be brand new when the EP does drop. So
Awesome.
I can't do math in my head and figure out how long that gets us out to, but sometime I think in like September or something like that is when the full thing is going to end up dropping. But we have a lot of singles until then that'll like keep people interested throughout the year. So yeah,
awesome. And September's a really cool month. I'm actually planning on making a trip down to California in September with our boy Nico. So it's gonna be awesome. You know, I can't wait. And you know, we'll definitely run into you guys. Hopefully, if you guys aren't too busy. Because yeah, I was supposed to go in April because April's my birthday, but some unexpected stuff.
Happy birthday! Wait, April yeah, now? When is it?
April 20th. It's a little later.
Okay, well, happy birthday anyway, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's turning 28, so it's like, wow, I'm getting old. But at the same time, I'm still young.
Congratulations. I'm turning 27 this year, so I feel you, dude.
I feel you. I'm like, where time went, man. That fucking pandemic messed up a lot of stuff. I thought I was still like 20 freaking 6, and I'm like, wait a minute. No, I'm not.
But you know what, dude? 30 is the new 20. I literally like things are, lifelines are extending now. We're living to be 300 years old eventually. We'll be fine.
That is true, man. That is so true. And speaking of performances, where I said that hopefully September, I know you guys got some performances actually coming up pretty soon in April as well and beyond. You want to speak on the performances you have planned for 2024 for all your fans and my peeps?
Yeah, hell yeah. So we have a show coming up mid-April, April 15th, at this art gallery in Glendale called Junior High, and it's like a queer POC-owned art gallery organized thing, which is super cool. We performed at an art gallery in LA before last year as well for like a 4th of July show. Super small, intimate like show, and we love those. And then we have a couple festivals coming up at the end of April, beginning of May. We have festival out in Palmdale at the end of April, being put on by our friend Randy in Through the Oculus, which is a really great metal band around here. And then in May, we have John Safari from Orange County Music League that's throwing this big like Cinco de Mayo festival. It's going to be like rock metal, but also like EDM and like all this beer gardens and camping. And it's going to be this cool thing. So we're playing that festival, which we're stoked on. And then later on in May, we'll be doing a show in downtown LA at the Lucky Strike, and then we're going to come back here in Orange County for FTG Warehouse, which is an all-ages venue in Santa Ana. So we try to play out at least 3-4 times a month, in all different areas. So there's always an opportunity for us to come see us. So just check us out on Instagram, follow us there, and you'll get all of the show flyers. I post them all the time.
Definitely. And I'll make sure I put all your links and stuff into the description of the video, so all my peeps and new audience can check you guys out. So
thank you.
I know I talked with you guys and Connor just a little earlier about the funny moments. That's where the question's coming up. I know Connor's gone.
Yeah.
But, we had our own funny moment just in the beginning of that. But I love interviewing bands because, man, just a lot of traveling, a lot of practice, fan interaction. So what are some of the funniest moments that you guys have had since really your existence that you want to share with everyone here?
Oh, funniest moments. That's so tough to say. I feel like Connor has ADHD, like really bad ADHD. So he just says like off the wall stuff all the time. I feel like every single practice is like being at a stand-up comedian, like desperately trying to make everyone laugh. But no, it's been a really fun time. We have a lot of just very inappropriate inside jokes within the band that are fucking horrible. Okay, wait. So one of them is you're an anime fan, right? So, do you know of an anime called Ghost Stories?
I've heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
You haven't actually watched it? Okay.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
There's an English dub of Ghost Stories that's so beyond horrible. And we laugh about it a lot because it's truly that horrible. We're into a lot of dark, stupid humor.
Sorry, I got a lot of my fans all over around peeps. I should say, if someone's gonna find this funny and dark,
someone's gonna know what Ghost Stories is. I'll say that one thing that we've been getting into a lot lately is most of us are really big Yu-Gi-Oh fans.
Oh man, like original
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh or like UTO
Oh yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh like
No.
original. Okay, awesome.
Yo,
Yeah.
hold on. Well, let me one sec, dude. You're
All
gonna
right.
flip. You're gonna flip
Yeah,
with this.
I'm gonna
Okay.
flip. I haven't met a Yu-Gi-Oh fan in so long. Like this is really cool for me. I love Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay, so
All right, what you
we
got?
ordered this thing. There's this thing apparently called Orica cards, and they're like not real cards, but like fan made cards.
Uh-huh.
But we're all big Yu-Gi-Oh fans, so we ordered decks that are look exactly how they look in the show.
Ooh, yeah, like damn, that looks nice.
Yeah, like so all of it's basically decks made out of the old like classic decks. So like this one is literally like what Pegasus used in the anime,
Yeah, that's
you
so
know?
cool.
So we like and we play games like against each other as, like Yugi, Kaiba, Pegasus, Joey, like all the old classic shit,
And I
So
love it, man. I love it, man. I love
yeah,
season one will always have a spot in my heart, but season two was just crazy, man. When they threw in
I
Lyric
know.
Ishtalk and all those other guys in there, man, like it was just crazy. And it's the way, like, can I see that card again? Can you put it on the camera? Like that is awesome.
Yeah. Well, like this one for like I bought a couple of my own, but like separate, like all
Look at
Weevil's deck,
that.
right? So
That is
having all,
sweet.
I
Yeah.
know, isn't it so cool? I mean, it's
Yeah,
kind of
because
yeah,
I'm used to
yeah.
just seeing the store kind where it got like the points, defense, and all that, and a little brief. Just like that is literally like how you'll see it
Yeah,
on
literally
TV.
how it is in the anime. So it
Yeah,
feels a lot cooler to play the game. The only annoying part is that you have to like memorize what all the cards do.
yeah,
But for big Yu-Gi-Oh nerds, like everyone knows what Swords of Revealing Light does.
yeah,
Everyone knows what
exactly.
Monster Reborn does. So
Yeah,
it's not that once you like remember the cards, like it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, we try to play Yu-Gi-Oh as much as we can together because it's super fun.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh. I would have, man. If I'm, if I see you guys down when I'm out there in September, we gotta
Dude,
play
bring your
Yu-Gi-Oh.
decks. Let's
Bro,
go.
exactly. Like we gotta, man. We got it. That is so cool. What I know it's off the topic of bands, but who's your favorite
Yeah.
What's your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card? What's your favorite?
Oh, okay. It's here. I'll find it. I'll find it because I also have a T-shirt of this card because it's like my favorite artwork of all time, and it is
What you got?
the Blue Eyes
Blue
Toon
Eyes.
Dragon.
Oh, y'all say that is nice. I haven't seen the
Dude,
Toon Dragon Silk. Everyone loves the original, or they love the Ultimate Dragon, but Ultimate Dragon. But the Toon, that is so cool.
Pegasus was always one of my favorite characters. He's just like he's so diabolical, but also really sympathetic, but also like super camp and like I don't know. He's just and it's so cool. Like I'm a big fan of Alice in Wonderland. That's like my favorite story of all time, and it
Uh-huh.
feels like the Toon monsters are kind of like the Yu-Gi-Oh equivalent of that, where they're like whimsical and funny and cute and all those stuff, but then they're also like stupid good. Like I love that.
Yeah, that is so cool, man, for real. And that's actually my next question. I was gonna ask, like, what does the band like to do during their downtime? But playing Yu-Gi-Oh, man, that's awesome. I'm so like, I've interviewed like literally like I've done hundreds of interviews, like maybe 70 that's posted, been a guest appearance.
Yeah.
Never we've ever taught Yu-Gi-Oh on the podcast. So this is
Dude, we
cool.
have a connection, man.
We do, man. Like
here.
I see that, man. I think you're my long lost best friend, man. That's so cool, man. So, let me get to my next questions because I'm just blown away by that. That is awesome. But I always love to ask. I'm a big quote guy, so I always ask my guests, like, what is your favorite quote or saying, maybe that you've heard that you lean on during the good times or the bad times? And if it's a Yu-Gi-Oh quote too, that's cool too.
Oh, could you imagine? Man, quote, huh?
Or it could be a saying that you've heard.
Yeah. Damn, I don't know. I feel like so many quotes that I have are about like love. Like because I'm so sappy. I think like anything that's worth doing, it's worth doing well. I think it's a life philosophy I really like to live by. I don't like to half-ass things. I love to like if I'm gonna. I pretty much only have done 3 things ever in my life for the past God forbid however many years, and it's music, politics because I work in politics as my day job, and gaming. And that's it. And like if I'm gonna do any of those 3 things, I want to do them well. Like gaming, for example. I don't have a lot of games that are like and not to hate anyone who plays these games because they're awesome, but like I don't really play like Stardew Valley or like Animal Crossing or like relaxing games, which I probably should just for my own mental health. But the games I love to play are like Dark Souls, Elden Ring, like Civilization. Like I love playing these really like hard games. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I
challenge.
think I just I love a challenge in anything that I do. So that's
Awesome.
That's what I'd say.
It's funny you mentioned the 3 because that's literally like one of my other staple questions. That's only my second. It's only my second to last question I ask, like, because I'm big on gratitude because that like just keeps me grounded. Because despite how successful we are right now or may become, like gratitude to me just what keeps you just grounded and humble. And my thing is I always ask my guests, like, what are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life currently? So we could get to that right now. So what are 3 I know you named 3, but I mean, if those are your 3, that's cool. If not, you can name another 3.
I'm gonna not go meta at this because I could so easily be like, I'm thankful for running water, but like, which everyone should be, but I'm gonna,
definitely,
But number 1, I'll be thankful. I'm very thankful for my dad. My dad is like my hero. He's like been my number 1 my whole life. Love him to death. We didn't grow up with much money at all, so a lot of the music equipment that I used growing up and stuff like that were like the Christmas birthday presents and everything like that. And it would be, like I still have my little Line 6 practice amp that I got when I was 13, and I used the fuck out of that thing and I still use it, and he's been like a huge supporter. He goes to almost every one of our shows just because he loves what we do and everything. So I'd say my dad, number 1, my 2, cool. My partner. We've been together for 7 years. I love her super dearly. And she's super involved in what we do. Like you can pretty much most shows you could see her at running the merch table, or getting her friends to come over to the show and everything like that. And then like she's also getting more into like film this year, so she's going to direct one of the music videos this year, and she's acted. If you go back,
that's awesome.
It's a little collaboration. She's an actress as well. So if you go back and watch our music video for one more time, she's the actress in that music video. So she's kind of always been around.
That's sick. Yeah, I seen that one. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So she's the little redhead chick. That's who she is.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, and then the third thing I'm thankful for, I'm going to say you, Alvin. Thank you for having me on your podcast. Thanks for like, it's so hard as a new up and coming band to find opportunities to like get your message out there. So people like you who allow up and coming artists and like actually give a shit, I think that I'm very thankful for,
You're so welcome, man. And the honor is literally all mine, Brad. Like, I really love your band. Like to someone who's like if they're just discovering you, like you literally like they're hearing your stuff, your music, and it's like they caught lightning in a bottle. Like this is awesome, like I really love it. And you got full support from me, the People's Choice, all my peeps, because we're definitely gonna keep sharing you, supporting you, sharing stuff any way we can, because the sky's really the limit for you guys, man. Against the Sun is here to stay, and you guys are really just laying the foundation of what it's going to be. Because just imagine you guys freaking 10 years from now, like, man, there's no telling where, but we'll probably be recording like an interview, but just in my own studio, from there, and or on the set of a music video, so it's really sky's the limit.
Hell yeah.
And I'm excited to see.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, bands like Motionless in White or A Day to Remember would be hustling it out there in the lines at Warped Tour and everything like that. And I know Warped Tour's gone now, so to me, that like same equivalent, that same hustle energy is like we're hustling it out here on TikTok and in Reddit sub communities and in Discord servers and wherever we can, So yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. And like I said, just keep going, man. Just keep going, keep grinding, because man, the sky's really limit. I just see so much success for you guys. So this is so cool that I get to interview you guys on the rise up, and then to see where you're going to be. And I interview that again. So it's definitely going to be the first time. And I really hope I can see you guys when I make the trip to Cali. And September.
Would love to.
Yeah, man, I gotta challenge you guys in duel. I want to be the Yu-Gi-Oh master against you guys.
Dude, it's gonna be time to duel. Let's go.
I cannot wait. And just my last things, just 2 more questions I have, then we'll wrap up. So where can all my peeps and new followers, new audience find you guys on And I'll put it all in the videos that pop up in the description.
Yeah, so we're most active on Instagram and TikTok. So feel free to follow us on there. We do have a Facebook as well. YouTube, we try to post about weekly on YouTube. That's where you can see all of our music videos and all of our playthrough videos. Like we do playthrough videos for every single one of our songs. So if you're a drummer or bass player, guitar player, whatever, and you want to learn how to do one of our songs, there's a video of us playing through it. So feel free to have at it. And then we also have a Twitch channel that we Twitch stream sometimes. Sometimes we do music, sometimes we do gaming, sometimes we do stupid shit. And then we also have a Discord server where we like share funny memes with everyone, and we kind of connect with like our little Against the Sun community. So we have lots of ways to hang out with us. So just come on in, hang out, have friends.
Love it, man.
Like meet us, have friends.
Definitely love it, man. That's awesome, man. And just one last question. Well, I guess request, not really a question, but is there anyone that you would love to, just give a shout out to and last message to all my peeps and new audience that's watching this or listening, depending on how they're seeing this?
Yeah, let me shout out a handful of artists.
Yep.
One, I go check out Carry the Day. They're a local hard rock band. We play a ton of shows with them, and they're like some of our best buds in the scene. Very similar types of music, and they're doing great stuff. They're building a really great fan base out here. Number two, I'd go with Chasing Desolation. They're also fucking incredible out here in LA. I mean, they have like tracks that have cracked 1 million streams, and they do not act like it, Like they act like the chillest fucking dudes ever imaginable. And they're like so amazing. Every single time we watch them live, I'm like, we need to get better. Like we need to get as good as they are, So
That's awesome.
So those are great. I'd shout out a band called The World Over. They are like a pop metalcore act from LA as well. I work closely with their singer Tiade, and they're just so fucking sick. I've had a chance to see them live, and it's awesome. And the last one I will shout out is a band called Hoity Toity. And you might know them from TikTok because their guitar player is like a huge guitar player TikTok, and she is like an amazing player and also one of the most hilarious people on TikTok I've ever seen. But go check out Hoity Toity. They're more like pop groovy kind of stuff, but their singer Shelby is like amazing on vocals. So go check out all of those bands. They're all bands that we play with around here in LA, and they're just the best people. So go do that.
Awesome. That's awesome. And I'll try to get all their pictures and the videos and the description and their links in the description as well. And another shout out to you. I want to give a shout out to Breaking Serenity, Nico. Love you, brother. And he's awesome, man. I love the stuff they're doing too. And one thing I noticed too in this, when I keep finding these awesome bands, is that you guys are just all chill, down to earth, man. Like you're literally like a representation of your music, so it's pretty cool. Oh, I think I'm having we have some company. I think it's my brother. But I mean, that was the last episode. Last question. Thank you so much, Brad, for being a part of the People's Choice Podcast family. And sky is truly the limit on where you guys are gonna go. I cannot wait. Let me give you the clap and thank you, man.
Honored to be on here. Thank you so much, Alvin, for having us. Really stoked to connect again later in the year. And again, let me know when you're out in Cali, because we will fucking break out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and we'll throw down, dude. I'm so ready.
Me too. I cannot wait, man. And so hopefully September I'll see you, man. So I would give it up for Against the Sun, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys, please share, like, subscribe when you see this video. Make sure Against the Sun, give them a follow, stream their music. It is awesome, especially if you grew up in loving like rock, pop punk. Lord, so you can't get words out. Thrasher, all that. They cover so much, and it's truly awesome. And like I said, man, sky's the limit. Can't wait to see the future, how this is going to turn out. Against the Sun, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks, man. Thanks again for having us.
No problem, brother. You guys have a good one.
All right. Take care.
All right.